Well, hello, Uncle Larry here. This time on Autism and Meltdowns. Get ready for a wild ride. At one point, you may have witnessed a meltdown experienced by someone on the autism spectrum. It can be a bewildering thing to watch. It's not only confusing for the observer, it's just as mystifying for people close to the person with autism. We spend our lives trying to interpret what the heck is going on, and there's no way for a nonverbal individual with autism to explain it to us either. So we have to gather clues about meltdowns from those on the spectrum who can actually talk. And here are a few clues. One thing to always remember is that autism is a disorder of the brain. A large part of it has to do with its circuitry. It's not like ours. They're simply wired differently. One of the first impulses upon witnessing a meltdown is to revert to the typical reaction of thinking, this person is spoiled and needs discipline or punishment. Wrong. As verbal autistic Lauren Elsie says, quote, having meltdowns is what I do in order to get what I want, said no autistic person ever, unquote. Another well-meaning reaction is to think talking the person down will have a calming effect. Not necessarily. The last thing some people with autism need is someone yammering at them, especially if they don't even know what you're saying. It's just noise. Their brain circuitry is already overloaded. Even an experienced parent like me forgets that once in a while, incidentally. In extreme cases, some form of intervention might be necessary if the person in question becomes self-injurious, which is to say they try to harm themselves. But even at that point, you have to improvise because everybody is different. Oh, and shame doesn't work either. Guilt can be a trigger of its own, which merely generates more of the same. In short, there is no cookie-cutter approach for an outsider to follow when encountering a meltdown. There is no guidebook. You might ask, does our son Gordon, now 32, still have meltdowns? Yep, he had a big one yesterday. That's why I'm doing this. But they are relatively infrequent. I wish this note offered some rational, generalized explanation. We seem obsessed with identifying causes for most human behavior, and I can't do that. No one can, including many on the autism spectrum themselves. What I can suggest is a good dose of compassion. Don't jump to conclusions about what you're seeing, and wait to be asked if you feel the urge to step in and help. That's all I've got, and it ain't much. But do remember this. The burden is always on the autistic person to be, quotes, normal. They live with that every damn day. Problem is they aren't normal. They are wired differently. Can you even imagine what that must be like?